All right, y'all boys, what's good, CB Tape Lab family, man? Today we have a video on the man, the legend, Patrick Surtain, the second, my favorite corner of all time, y'all. I have a little stat sheet written down right here. Not a little stat sheet, little fun facts. So this is his junior year, right? He played in 13 games, y'all. This is a crazy fact. He was targeted 48 times throughout those 13 games. He gave up only 21 catches amongst those 48 targets, right? That comes out to a 43% completion rate when targeting him. I want you to understand a 43% completion rate. Normally quarterbacks are throwing 60, 70, maybe even 80% completion rate sometimes during games, right? So every time you throw it to him, every 2 to 3 times you're throwing it to him, he's only going to allow one catch. And one last fun fact, he gave up 273 yards the entire season. That comes out to 21 yards per game. He gave up only 2 first downs a game, y'all. 21 yards a game. I mean, unbelievable. But enough of the yap. Let me get straight to it, though. So for this game, this is actually a sophomore year, I believe. Boom. Let's look at the receiver first, right? The back leg is his left leg, right? He's not even going to do a split release. He's just going to bring it up and attempt to do a speed release, right? This receiver is about 6'4", 6'5". That's the whole clip, right? But he's going to basically just do a speed release. He doesn't even give us a move. But let's break down the footwork, though. Before we even get to the footwork, look what I always point out, y'all, an uncomfortable base. Because after the Pierce step, boom, now we're in a comfortable base, a base of power, right? Another thing I want y'all to notice, look at how flat his back is, right? He's not hunched over, and he's also bent at the knees. He's not just leaning over. And eyes on hip. This is the most perfect DB stance. Always model your stance, though, with somebody who's the same height and weight as you, though. If you're 6'4", 6'5", do not try to model your stance after Patrick Surtain, right? Vice versa. And always make sure your stance is comfortable, right? But it's always good to grab a couple things from people's stances, right? So just wanted to point out his stance. But let's get into it. Peer, and then look at the left and right. Inch, right? Peer, left, right, inch. And now the receiver is basically declared to the outside. So we're going to kick without crossing our feet over. Y'all, look at this. Woo! Push off the left foot. Don't cross the feet over. And look at how we're still on top. After this kick, we are at the white line. He's just now at the black line, right? Y'all see this? Boom, kick. We're on the top field shoulder now. Just one arm on. That way we don't lock up our right hip. Boom. Eventually we're going to get chest to chest once the receiver looks back for the ball. And at this point, this route is completely boxed. This is our ball to go get, right? Another thing I want to point out. He's starting at the top of the numbers. He obviously is going to go outside for a fade ball, right? That's the given. But look at how this kick widens the receiver. You guys see how the receiver sort of puts his head down and runs away from him for a little bit? Y'all see that? Doesn't cross his feet over and gets a great kick in. I don't even need to spend too much time on this clip. I'll show one more time all the way through. Peer inch kick. Look at how fast. It's fast, just like that. That's how it's got to be. Great rep. All right, y'all. This is going to be the second clip. I'm going to play it all the way through first for y'all. Man, once again, man, teach tape. Boxed. Psh, made me shed a tear. Let's get into this one, though, y'all. Boom. First things first, we're just always good. Let's in the future, I guess I'm going to always start examining the receiver first. That way we can build rapport on what to do when receiver does this and that, right? But receiver's going to bring his back leg up barely. He's going to give us that fake. I guess you would call this almost a diamond release, almost. I don't really know what you call this. You know, I never sat in a receiver's room for film, but he's faking us to the inside. But let's look at Patrick Surtain now. It's almost like a mini horizontal kick, sort of slow step replace. Whatever you want to call it, though, he's staying square, right? He's sort of going to kick or push off that right leg, but we're staying square, and that allows us to get a redirect kick, right? Let's just call this a kick for now, right? Boom. He kicks to the left to protect inside leverage, and now we're going to do a redirect vertical kick. We're going to kick at an angle. That way we don't get beat, right? Bring it back. Horizontal kick. Now we're square still. Redirect vertical kick. Push off. Don't cross the feet over. One hand on. Actually gets 2 right away, which could be dangerous, but Yeah, I'm about to say, he's starting at the blue line. He sort of gets chest to chest at 7 yards, but maybe he read the receiver's eyes. Who knows? But get chest to chest, right? And we're obviously just going to play it. The biggest thing I wanted to point out, though, is some DBs off of this release, they either are going to over kick too far or they're just even going to get into a run, right? And then at that point, you're pretty much cooked. But he does a good job protecting his inside leverage and sort of mirroring. I guess we can call it a step replace, right? He's just mirroring the inside hip. But biggest thing, though, y'all, is he stayed square and he got a redirect vertical kick. And when I say redirect, I mean you're going to change your momentum and kick the opposite direction, right? So step replace, whatever you want to call it. Step replace, horizontal kick, redirect vertical kick. Boxed. Alrighty, y'all. I definitely wanted to include a motor technique in this as well. I know I go over kick slide, pier steps, and inch a whole ton in my videos, and I don't really go over motor too much just because I don't motor myself too much IRL. But this is a great motor rep right here. Boom. Psh, made me shed a tear, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Play with the hands. Great job. That's a PBU too on the stat sheet. But let's get into this one though, y'all. For starters, look at how he brings that false step forward, right? Whenever you're in motor, you have to have that false step going forward in order to get momentum going backwards, right? He starts in an uncomfortable base. Once again, boom, left foot forward to start the motor off. And now this receiver is doing a whole lot of nothing and is not going anywhere. Just look at him. Whole lot of nothing, right? I guess it's a split release with some more dancing. I always call this dancing. He's just dancing in front of our face. He's not going anywhere, though. But Surtain's doing a good job. He didn't overkick his leverage. All he did was motor and mirror the inside hip, right? And at this point, the receiver has declared the outside. Notice how he's going to kick and doesn't cross his feet over. Man, that's the biggest thing I want y'all to get down, man. Motor, mirror the inside hip, and when he declares, we're going to kick slide without crossing our feet, man. Now we're still on top. He does a lot of hand fighting, right? Surtain's left hand, the receiver's right hand. They do a lot of hand fighting, which sometimes slows the DB down. But nonetheless, though, great job getting this close before looking back for the ball. Looks back for the ball perfectly. Boom. And I think somebody mentioned this. Where did somebody mention this? I think somebody mentioned, in the YouTube video comment section, my last video, or my second to last one with Jermon McCoy, but churning DBs who churn around and locate the ball in phase 3 of the rep, right? In college football, like that's a sign that they're a pretty elite DB and they're going to do good at the next level, right? Most DBs here might just continue to hold, and if they don't look back for the ball, it might be called for PI, right? But great job looking back for the ball, right? Boom. Once again, one more time. False step forward with that left foot. Motor while mirroring the inside hip. Kick without crossing the feet over. Boom. Play it all through one more time. Boom. Perfect. All right, y'all. This will be the second to last clip. I'll play it all the way through. On this one, the receiver does catch the ball, but Surtain was in perfect position here to make a play. I honestly think it was a little push in the back right here, but maybe his momentum drifted too far. Who knows? But, I mean, at this point, perfect position, though, right? Just got to capitalize at the end. But for starters, we're going to go over it. You guys notice how his base is a little off now? It's because he's going to do – this is already predetermined, right, the line of scrimmage. You always got to come to line of scrimmage and press with a plan. Am I going to motor? Am I going to peer kick? Am I going to press bail, right? You always got to have your plan. His plan right here is to get the receiver, is to throw the receiver off and get him into his route and have him skip all that dancing BS release, right? So, boom, let's back it up. Notice how the receiver, boom, he's looking to start dancing now. Boom, that one arm now, he swipes it off, but now he's getting straight into his route, right? This is a great one-arm jam to get the receiver into going, right? It's like to cut out all the dancing. But one-arm jam, always still got to kick without crossing them feet over, and look what he does. Doesn't cross them feet over. This is right leg right here. Boom. Plants that left foot down right there, kicks off again. right? Never crosses his feet, even in a one-arm jam, right? If you ever jump jam, or even if you throw a fake arm or fake two arms to get the receiver into their route and to have them skip the release, still get a kick slide in without crossing your feet over. That's why he's able to stay on top of the receiver here. Receiver gives us a little move. We just settle our feet. We don't bite downhill, and we're in perfect position. He is in perfect position. Only thing I would say is maybe right here, get a hand on his shoulder like we saw in those last couple clips and get him closer to the sideline, right? If you get him closer to the sideline, look where he catches the ball. He's catching the ball literally. These white things, whatever you call them, these lines, they are 1 yard from the sideline. So earlier, right about before he turns around, if you just shove him one time or get your hand on for 3, 4, 5 yards, he's probably catching this ball out of bounds, right? And if you squeeze him out of bounds right here, say he's close to the sideline, this is his ball to go and get, right? Just the little things. I don't want to nitpick too much, but one more time. One arm jam, get him into his route, still kick without crossing the feet over. Perfect. All right, y'all, this will be the last clip for Patrick Surtain's video. He's obviously right here. So in this video, let me know what you guys think. I couldn't really tell. Obviously, they're rushing 4, and they have 4 under 3 deep, but that's what I couldn't really tell. Let me know in the comments. I believe this is, what's his first name? This is Diggs, though. A fun fact about him, he came to Bama as a wide receiver and then switched to a corner, I think in his second, third year, whenever it happened, but he's a great DB too. But I couldn't tell if he has his deep third and this is cover 4, or he has the flats and he has a deep half and maybe cover 6. Whatever it is, though, my bad for the nitpicking. Whatever it is, though, Surtain at least has a deep third or deep fourth, right, which requires backpedaling into a crossover run, right? Boom. On the snap, we're going to go into our back pedal, right? And notice how shoulders are still over toes right here. Feet are still, you know, that Madden circle whenever you're playing Madden, that bubble around your feet. Look at how his feet are underneath him, still inside his frame. They're not too wide. He can break at any moment's time, right? Boom. We're going to stay in that back pedal. And once the receiver gets about 4 yards, he sort of breaks a little early, right? He's at the 48. Surtain's opening up at about the 43, right? Yeah, 48 and 43, I would say, right? You always want to try and open up to the receiver at the 4 yards, right? When the receiver is 4 yards away from you, but 1 yard's not too bad at all. We're going to backpedal. Boom. I don't want also you guys to notice, right here at the 45, he's in his backpedal. He's in a full-on crossover run at least by the 42.5. So it took him only 2 yards to get into that crossover run. It didn't take him, 5 seconds or anything. Boom. It took him like 2 or 3 steps, right? Kick off that right leg, plant that left one, and he's already in it, right? 2, 3 steps. He went from a back pedal into a crossover run. And that perfect technique, y'all, has allowed him to stay connected on his upfield shoulder. One of the biggest things, sorry I'm going a little long on this clip. This is just really a good clip to go over. Whenever you have your deep third, deep fourth, and you're going to do a back pedal into a crossover run, right? Like I said, always get into your crossover run once the receiver is 4 yards away from you. But we always have to stay on the receiver's upfield shoulder and do not undercut the ball or undercut the receiver unless the ball is about halfway-ish. Once the ball is sort of on the decline, that's when you jump and undercut it or when you run underneath, right? If you undercut too early and that ball is long, the band's going to be playing your favorite song, right? But in this case, Surtain, mind you, this is his true freshman season right here. Stay on his upfield shoulder. Like, look at how teach tape this is. At this point, the ball was thrown long, but say it wasn't, he easily could have undercut this ball, at the 30, 31 at the 30, like any given, you guys see what I'm saying, right? He's almost had 13 yards, right, of when he's been able to undercut the ball if needed. But stay on the upfield shoulder, ball's long, receiver hands right there. But I'll play it all the way through. Shoulders over toes, feet inside frame. Open up once receiver gets 4 yards away from you and stay on the upfield shoulder. It's teach tape, man, teach tape. But with that, y'all, that'll be it for this video. couple corners I have in mind. I definitely want to get a taller corner up here soon. Maybe a DJ Pickett. He doesn't have that much film yet. So I'm thinking maybe Ephesians Prize Stock to Cario Davis. Maybe like a little duo video for them, 2-1. I do want to get Derek Stingley up soon. I'm tapping into the older, the legend corners, right? But let me not yap for too long. Hopefully y'all have a great week, though.